Good evening. This is Simmion, coming to you from the outer reaches of the universe, bringing you energies to support your day and to take you further into the world of your Creator. As we listen to one another, we hear many different conversations and many different attitudes. But as we look into the future, we only see what we desire deep within our being. And all the conversations disappear into something that you have never known before. The general feeling of well-being is now with you. And it is only dislodged by the conversations about the difficulties that really don't exist. And so as we progress, we're going to take you out further to where you can feel the security of all the universe in every part of your being. The energies that you feel will be foreign to you, but they will bring the final formula together that allows you to know that everything is fine. In bringing this into your life, we are not only solving all problems, we are giving you back the responsibility that you gave us many, many, many years ago. The responsibility to feel good. The responsibility to know everyone and everything from a whole different angle. And when we talk about a responsibility, it is yours because you gave it to us. We're not handing it back, we're reintroducing it. So we will still do everything that's necessary, but we will introduce to you a field that will settle all your questions, all your disturbances, and all you need to know. Because in this need to know, there is always a question. And in the question, there's never an answer. Because you already know, you can pose a question. If you didn't know, you wouldn't be able to pose the question. And so we're taking you to where you can see that you do know. Where you can see that if you ask questions, you know more than anybody else. You're not asking questions to find out something new. You're asking questions to find out if anybody else knows. So now we move a little further and we take you out through one path and bring you back through another. So that that part of you that asks all the habitual questions and creates all the habitual problems can't find where it is. So let's go on a very, very short trip that takes a moment and covers trillions of miles and slips you out through the universe into another universe and another and another till all your communication is gone. And then we take a sudden turn and take you off all the universes to where we all actually reside. And now you're in a position of nowhere where you can look back and see all the universes, all the events, everything, and have no desire to come back. But we're going to re-energize you so that you can come back and make a really big difference to you, to your families, and to everyone around you. And we do that without explaining anything. And the energies that we bring to you each day start to appear around you before you even enter the first universe. Those energies that satisfy your being, not your body or your desire or your habit or the thing you need to bash somebody else over the head with. It creates perfection that you need to give you the courage to walk back through all the universes and find the little planet that you're elevating with all your friends who come from absolutely nowhere as well, that you didn't see once on this trip, and you only see when you're back on Earth. Know that no matter how far we take you, you're still connected and you don't see the people. And the only reason you don't connect to them is because you're too busy. You're too busy traveling, too busy going, wow, where is this? And then all of a sudden finding we step outside of all things that give you the idea of where you are, and we put you into nowhere. This is where everything comes from. This is where I speak from. The outer reaches of your universe. So now we can talk sense. We don't have to solve. We just talk sense. We gather one another when we're on Earth. We don't bother when we're in nowhere. We see one another when we're on Earth. We don't bother when we're at nowhere. The realistic part of it is everything comes from nowhere, and it all appears so that you can demonstrate the majestic part of your being that took it on itself to take that short but absolutely monstrous journey from nowhere to somewhere. So now that you're back to somewhere again, you can look at one another with a different light and know that you all came from nowhere. And you don't even know where the other person's nowhere is or what it means. And then it's interesting to know that everything they bring into this world comes from nowhere. But it's their particular nowhere. And it's not one you can find unless they demonstrate it. And unless you demonstrate, no one can find yours. And in the case of talking from the outer reaches of the universe and extending into your world, we find there are so many things to offer, because during your journey, you lose energy, you lose position, you shrink. You carry everything, but it's not available. And so our service to you is to be that link that allows everything to come from nowhere and appear because it belongs to you. In the elements, there are many things to discover. In the universe, there's many things to discover. But none of them have anything on what you can bring from nowhere. It sounds like a mystery, and it is to you where you are now. But it's not to you when you're sitting in nowhere, because you don't have to know. It is you. So the trip that you've just taken put you out there and brought you back. And when you came back, you had a little bit more than when you went out. The reason for that is because we held your hand. And so the transition didn't happen. You traveled with us for our purpose, to show you that you come from nowhere. In every part of your being, this information is not just stored, it's flowing out of you at a rate you can't believe. That little being that's called human is bigger than the universe, and it's delivering out into the universe and beyond so fast that it's depleting your own energy. And that's why we say we're bringing you the energies to support you through your day, so that you can keep delivering. If you don't keep delivering that energy, you won't feel like you're human. You'll feel like you have not achieved the transition. And all the time you tell yourself you'd like to transition back, but that's not what it is. You transition to where you are. You've always been from nowhere. And to maintain your position where you are, and to maintain the elegance, there are some deficiencies that happen in both the physical world and the worlds around you. Many brilliant beings have worked for many, many years to get to the point where they can deliver those special energies through other means. And it's happening. And around you, you're starting to feel a difference. From our spaceships, we deliver many hundreds of thousands of specific signals to specific beings. Billions, all designed for each being, so that you can maintain what we call well-being in a phase of your existence that proves you can be a focused person with a total knowing that you come from nowhere. And as we deliver more of the things that we see as deficiencies, you become more comfortable with elevating the earth and everything in it to a point where it can run by itself, where you don't have to work to make it happen, where you don't have to physically lift everything, physically change everything, physically build things. We're on the edge of being able to show you what we have done in other areas. It'll come through people speaking on our behalf, and it'll also come through the superintelligence that you are starting to access. But understand it belongs to each one of you and to your individual nowhere. The guarantee that we give is that it will work. And we guarantee that everyone will succeed. And we also guarantee that no matter what you desire, we will make sure that that desire is actually the one you brought with you. Many of the desires have been dislodged, covered up, stolen, destroyed, and generally distorted. There's no need to look at the reason for all this. There's only a need to look at it's over. But part of the whole process was to maintain the flow of specified and special energies and fields that each one of you put in front of us before you left. And we are continually updating the communications with each one of you to make sure that we have that right and that you have it right. In the coming days, each one of you will feel the elevation that you know you can bring to a world. And you'll do it because we guarantee. And we are on call, not just 24 hours a day, but through every dimension and every time, to deliver on the past, the future, and the alternate dimensions, to work through time and outside time, and to make the impossible your dream. So now we will step up our communication and we will talk a little more about the genuine input that you can have to the world now that you know your capability. The silence has been broken, and you are each one of you, the majestic being that you were when you left. And to know what nowhere means, I only have to use the word once. You come from nowhere, as does everything else that thrills you in your life. Access that. Access the nowhere. Jump up and down and be brilliant. And take on whatever you wish. There is no way you can fail at anything unless it's judged by someone else. And they can't judge your nowhere because they don't know where it is. Just like you can't judge theirs. So as we single out many of the individual inquiries, queries, and complaints that come in our direction, we're getting to the point where we're getting almost 100% solution. We deliver it, but it's not in words. We deliver it in ways where you know, beyond a doubt, it's coming from nowhere. And you won't find that you can put a solution next to a problem and have them cancel. You can bring something from nowhere and it will change your world, and the rest doesn't exist. So in the magic of everything you do, the purpose is not to solve the problem. The purpose is to not have it. And if you say you have a problem, it's because you're trying to check on somebody else to see if they know what you know. The delivery of our conversation has changed a lot because we're at the point where we can talk directly to the being that comes from nowhere. That being is far beyond the universal being that we've been able to talk to before. Even though it's the same being, it has the capability of working with nothing and bringing it out of nowhere for no reason. The concepts that you come up with in your everyday life will change immensely. You will be amazed at your own brilliance. And you'll be amazed at how practical you can be, even though you come from nowhere. The sequences of not only events, but of how you delve into the future will become so interesting and so easy that you won't have any spare time left in any one day. Understand this and enjoy it. What you thought you had to change in the world, you really don't. You only have to know you come from nowhere. And the whole picture changes. If your body responds in a certain way and you don't know what to do about it, don't talk to it. Wait for something to come from nowhere. Talk to us. Talk. Just don't talk to your body. It will respond. It has a very, very smart interface with everything. But it comes from Earth. And you don't. So allow it to recover in the magic ways that it can. Allow it to produce the miracles that you know it's supposed to be able to produce. Don't go downhill when it goes downhill. You go uphill and say, come and join me. It doesn't like being away from you. It will recover. In other areas, the world will change immediately when you know you've taken this trip to nowhere. And you've come back, and it's now part of your being. Settle into a capability that you never thought you had. A capability that stretches far into the future, far into the past, far into other realms, outside of time, and into galaxies that you've never ever known to be available. Understand nothing. Bring everything from nowhere. And as you get used to the fact that the only thing that is correct in your world is outside of physical logic, outside of the rules discovered for the physical world, and outside all known functions except the ones that come from nowhere. And you will be bringing things into your life continually from nowhere. This is the magic that allows you to produce miracles and amaze yourself and everybody else. We won't be leaving you with a bunch of words. We're alongside you. We're all around you. We're supporting you. We're making sure that everything is available. And this opportunity to speak about all the facilities is one that we've waited for a long time. So listen and then forget. Simply live beyond all things and know that what comes from nowhere is always so beautiful and so amazing that it blows the physical existence away. On this occasion, we all thank you with great honor and respect. And we maintain our vigilance to make sure that our service remains with you forever. Thank you. I am Simmion.